So there is a new drink trend on the horizon that we are all going to watch grow in popularity and then most likely crash and burn. This new coffee alternative claims to increase focus, lower blood pressure, reduce inflammation, and it could even make you lose weight. All of this without the jitters or the crash from coffee or regular energy drinks. Now, there's a whole bunch of different flavors out there already. Different brands and influencers are vying for market share, and a cultural backbone is already built into this drink that will make it much more than just a corporate money grab. We are talking about yerba mate. Most people will recognize yerba mate by the classic yellow branding of yerba madre, but there's actually a lot of brands today offering a yerba mate drink with varying levels of caffeine. But this is a far cry from the hollowed out gourds that this drink is traditionally consumed in. This is an ancient cultural drink originating in South America that has been drunk around the world for ages, but only recently has seen a boom in popularity in North America and Europe. And so we are all very likely about to watch yet another culturally specific beverage with real roots into real communities getting canned and commodified for mass adoption. Let's go. But to be fair, a lot of these companies have been around for a long time in this part of the world, so why are we seeing this boom happen right now? And will there be anything left of the original yerba mate experience once consumerism has taken over? A huge shout out to our Patreon community for making this video possible. So a little while back, we made a video all about the explosion in popularity of new energy drink companies in the last couple of years. And in that video, we mentioned that one of these up and coming beverages was yerba mate. And we had a few comments on that video being like, hey, I'd love to see a yerba mate video. But we're not going to make this video because it's gonna go viral or something. We are making it because I think that this is something that not a lot of people are talking about. And it is a story that we are going to see repeated across our consumer landscape well into the future. Because previous to this video, I didn't really know anything about yerba mate. Lou was really the inspiration for this video because she grew up with her dad drinking yerba mate in their house.
My favorite part about the script writing process was when Levi texted me and he said, "You have a really cultural connection to this drink, right?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "But your dad drank it growing up, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of it, though."
It's like a thing in Puerto Rico or something. I was like,
it's
"Oh, this is gonna be sick." We'll talk to her grandma and get some selfies of her with grandma drinking.
My dad isn't even Puerto Rican. He's just from New York.
She knows a lot more about the cultural backdrop of this beverage, which we're going to be getting into a little bit later. If I were to simplify it as much as possible, yerba mate is basically a cup or a hollowed out gourd, if you're getting real traditional with it, full of dry yerba mate leaves that you pour hot water over. It is essentially a specific kind of tea, but drunk through a straw called a bombilla in traditional settings. Now, when you start digging into this, you can easily find lists with multiple different steps on how to make this drink, and there's a whole ritualistic community aspect of this drink that we're gonna be talking a little bit more about later on. Now, apparently these original tea drinks with the straws can get you crazy ripped. Like, you can get up to 300 milligrams of caffeine out of these gourds. But obviously what has become most popular today is ready to drink canned yerba mate. The most famous of which is Guayaki, which is rebranded to yerba madre. And there's a lot of other brands that are now doing the same thing to try and ride this wave. Now, yerba mate specifically isn't coffee, but it also isn't an energy drink. It has some flavors that might remind you of an energy drink, but it doesn't have that same kind of chaotic energy that we're used to associating energy drinks with. Combine all these things together and you have a pretty viable product to convert not only energy drink consumers into yerba mate drinkers, but also coffee drinkers into yerba mate drinkers. But the thing is, this convenience comes at the cost of all the traditional ways that yerba mate is supposed to be consumed, right? Which is, apparently, slowly and in community. Yerba mate is supposed to be enjoyed with friends and family, with a single gourd being passed around in a circle and with a dedicated person in charge of refilling it. This is a cultural symbol of unity and hospitality. It's a driver of deep conversation and togetherness.
What's really interesting is I think a lot of like coffee shops, now matcha pop-ups and all these things happening, they're very grab and go, and a lot of them, like you're seeing cafes even eliminate seating. Yerba mate having the roots of community, of people sitting down together and enjoying yerba mate in a circle, communing with each other, has a really unique place with this conversation of we're losing third spaces, we're losing community.
Cool.
It would be really cool to market yourself as like, you come in and you stay here for an hour. Like, we're not going to kick anybody out. You know?
That's what I feel like this trend could actually inadvertently be hitting at exactly the right time, because we are so isolated. We don't have anywhere to go. Drinks are all about energizing and getting you through the grind as fast as possible. And this is like kind of the only thing that I've seen out there that is kind of built in opposition to that from the ground up, like with real roots that you can study and learn about and get into in a way that you kind of can't do with other stuff.
This is, like, maybe more than any other drink I've ever heard of, a cultural beverage with specific specialized tools that is prepared in a very specific way. But the modern yerba mate popularity is designed to strictly get you straight into frickin' yerb mode as fast as possible. So as we mentioned off the top, yerba mate in a can has been around for over 20 years already. So why is it having the moment right now? Well, there's two big shifts going on in our consumer drink landscape recently that is leading to this boom. One is energy drinks, and two is wellness culture. Energy drinks are having a moment, as we talked about in that previous video. What was previously a fringe beverage is now ranking as the second most popular drink category in the United States. And yerba mate is benefiting massively from this growth. But simultaneously, they're trying to balance some semblance of what makes it unique. The heritage, the health benefits, and of course, the vibes, the yerb vibes. What is interesting though is that a lot of the brands that are making this beverage do at least pay an homage to the land and the traditional practice that it came from. You will be hard pressed to find one of these yerba mate websites that doesn't at least have an about section featuring the origins of this product. Though, some definitely do a better job of this than others.
So while I was doing the research for this script, I realized that most of these yerba mate brands are actually doing a really good job at paying homage to the land and the cultural practices that this drink came from. Or, if they're really about it, they'll have a section on the can itself that'll talk about where it came from and what it's all about. But unfortunately, not all of these yerba mate websites are built equally. I'm taking a look through the Mana yerba mate site right now, and it's full of some really flashy graphics and fun interactive stuff with their cans. But honestly, it just seems like they're investing all of their time and money into marketing the flavor combos than the actual origins of the drink. Oh yeah. They've also got this really weird game at the bottom of their website for some reason where this random dude just jumps over stuff. To be fair, they do have a section on there about yerba mate and its origins, but honestly, it's abysmal. They just say that it's from South America and that it's old, and that's kind of it. After that, they just talk about health benefits, caffeine content, and method of preparation. To me, that's the main difference between a brand that I'll go out of my way to support and one that's really obviously selling a product that they don't care about the origins of, and they don't care about the people that are going to consume it.
And doesn't this kind of remind you of another drink that we've talked about recently in this way? Another ancient cultural beverage exported from its country of origin and then commodified for capital gain? Of course, we're talking about matcha. Obviously, matcha's popularity was way above what we've seen so far for yerba mate. We haven't seen Starbucks selling a yerba mate drink or crazy mate flavored foods on different store menus or whatever. But one thing that matcha and yerba mate do have in common is the alignment with a booming wellness culture. So it turns out, I've learned, that each generation has been more health conscious than the last. I think that's pretty interesting. So not only is Gen Z responsible for the surge of popularity of energy drinks, but they're also increasingly tapped into this new wellness culture as a lifestyle and an aesthetic. People today don't want to just mainline a 300 milligram can of Monster anymore. They want to get the boost, but not feel like a dirtbag doing it. You know what I'm saying? So the race is on to provide a healthier and better beverage with functional ingredients that can help you optimize your life. Once again, we have made videos about all of these things in the past. We break down our consumer world and all of its craziness into synthesized and entertaining bite-sized pieces so that you don't have to get overwhelmed every single time that you see a new ad for something that you definitely don't need. So if you like what we do on this channel, maybe consider supporting us over on Patreon. I don't know. Not only would you be helping us out, but you'd get early access to our videos, access to a private Patreon-only Discord, and exclusive content whenever we get around to it. Just something to think about. The most popular yerba mate drink today has about 150 milligrams of caffeine in it, which is pretty comparable to all of the energy drinks that are out there right now. A lot of this is marketed as natural energy without a crash, right? Feel good energy for your mind, body, and soul. Focused only on pure ingredients. They are definitely leaning into the idea that this is a drink that is going to make you feel good, not jittery and anxious. Although I will say the website for this one is crazy. The UI here is a lot. I do feel a little overwhelmed scrolling through this one. And I love how they say which one, like who it's for. Like we got Vegas DJs and jiu-jitsu black belts for that one. Black coffee drinkers, first responders, dude. Whoa. Like it's so specific. Street artists, chill baristas. Like they have nailed down their market. They know who they're going for. Runway model, Twitch live streamer, Mighty Mint. Maybe that's the one I'll have to try. One of the biggest brands in the space is co-owned by Dr. Andrew Huberman, the famous neuroscientist who runs the Huberman Lab podcast. He promotes a lot of stuff in this wellness space, and so if he sees an opportunity here, there's a good chance that this is gonna be going places. However, we also found another investor that is maybe slightly less reputable, which is Baron Trump. Yeah, this guy launched his own yerba mate brand called Solos. So far, they're only selling like pineapple coconut flavor, and they seem to have some merch and beach bags to go with the branding, you know. There's no chance that this is a good product, but you know, here we are. But okay. You know, we got the Trumps on board, we got Huberman on board. Do any of these health claims actually hold water? The short answer is not really. Yerba mate's health benefits are mostly attributed to theobromine, which is also found in cocoa. Theobromine specifically is known as the compound which increases calmness and focus while improving your mood. However, apparently there isn't enough clinical research to prove definitely if this is why you feel different after you drink one of these beverages, or that's just the caffeine and a placebo effect. Yerba mate also contains more antioxidants than green tea and has a bunch of vitamins, amino acids, and minerals in it. But how much of these benefits will actually be felt from one of these canned drinks? Sort of debatable. And then there's this whole other angle here, which is that yerba mate has been associated with weight loss and metabolism boosting. This is the kind of marketing that might increase now that we're seeing an age of Ozempic and diet culture making a huge comeback, right? At the end of the day, there is a rising health consciousness culture going on today. And any product that can capitalize on this market will. So there is really no telling how much more popular yerba mate will become in the near future as people start to latch onto things to make them feel better about themselves. But here's another question. What does this boom in yerba mate's popularity mean for the countries and the cultures that actually started it? Yerba Madre, the most popular brand in this space, is actually doing a surprisingly good job. They are B Corp and Fair for Life certified, which ensures that everybody involved in their production process makes a living wage, they have safe working conditions, and they promote sustainable farming and harvesting practices within their whole system. As this Forbes piece puts it, Yerba Mate has long-term trusted relationships with these communities, ensuring that they are empowered and that their traditional knowledge is respected and integrated into the company's operations. Is this a fluff piece put on to appease people who really care about this stuff? Maybe, but they have at least walked a certain amount of the walk that you're expected to walk when you are doing this kind of thing. They've also got community building retreats, their own music venues, they host music festivals, and they've created spaces online for dietitians to learn about regenerative and indigenous food practices. Like, they have done some pretty cool stuff. Sadly though, they're kind of an outlier in this space. Like most companies are not doing this. A lot of these big brands are just looking for an opportunity to make money. And this is the sad thing, right? Because when the whole wellness angle takes precedent over the history and cultural roots of a beverage, it's very easy to write it off as something that's been commodified and not the real thing. When you buy a can of Power Peach at 7-Eleven, you're not getting any of that ancient practice and socialization and connection that the drink was based on. The truth is, yerba mate is not a practical drink. It's not something that you grab and go. It's something that is supposed to be enjoyed together. It's all about sharing. So if you aren't in Argentina or something, or in South America, drinking this drink with a bunch of your family and friends, you aren't going to do the yerba mate experience justice. But what you gotta hope happens is that by this becoming popular in the form that it is, it allows more people to be exposed to some of the deeper roots that this culture does have to offer. Maybe, we'll see people drinking traditional yerba mate in more ways in the future.
Okay, can I make a prediction though in this video? We'll see more popularity of yerba mate as like a traditional form. When you watch that video of Lionel Messi drinking out of this like ornate, really beautiful chalice looking thing, and he's got like the straw that like has, it's like beautifully made, and there's a ceremony to it. Like, people get really into coffee. Like, coffee's got all of this stupid stuff that you need to do to have the right cup, right? Like, we're now doing pour overs, and you got fancy grinders, and you got the kettle that boils the water to the right temperature. This is ripe for that. We are so ready for a bunch of influencers to show off their yerba mate routine or whatever.
I am curious less about people making their own yerba mate at home, because that's asking a lot of the average American. But I am interested in seeing if not a Starbucks style place, but like more places that will make yerba mate, like a yerba mate bar or something like that.
Yeah, is there a yerba mate bar
popping up? Probably somewhere.
Yep, I do not really think that there are coffee shops for yerba mate. Like, I haven't really been able to find anything about that.
Okay, business idea for anybody watching this video. Start a yerba mate bar. This just seems like there's a new matcha bar opening up every day on every street corner. Just start a yerba mate bar. This idea is like a mix between the tea shop and like a hookah bar.
Dude,
Let me just get like 8
just
friends and
thinking.
let's sit around a table and let's do like casual stimulants together.
For sure.
If you have any personal insights into this culture, we would love to hear you leave them down in the comments below, because once again, like, this is not our culture. This is just something interesting that we learned about that we thought would make for a cool video, and anything that you have to say is going to help add color and texture to this story. So thank you for that. And if you are subscribed to the channel, then we will see you next week for another upload.
It almost like to be able to widely push these ideas of minimalism and sustainability or underconsumption core, like, it kind of has to be a part of a trend, or it has to be seen as kind of cool. It has to be seen like something that your friends and family are adopting as well, to be able to actually maintain like and hold on to the long term.
I also, though, I do wonder how many people are actually out there judging others